The pendulum, that is the battle for the F1 World Championship lead, swung in Lewis Hamilton's favour after the Briton took full advantage of Sebastian Vettel's start error and penalty by winning the French Grand Prix and taking the lead in the Drivers' Championship by 14 points. Using the strong pace of the Mercedes, Hamilton was able to keep his nearest competitors at arm's length and take his first French Grand Prix win, a win at his 26th different Grand Prix circuit. The first French Grand Prix for 10 years proved to be a combative affair, and Vettel's opening corner collision with Mercedes' Valtteri Bottas proved the deciding factor at the circuit. Paul Ricard: "My start was too good, then I had nowhere to go," said Vettel. "It was my mistake. I tried to brake early and get out of it, but I had no room. I had no grip, with being so close to the car in front, and also next to me. Obviously Valtteri tried to get his position back, which is fair enough, but I had nowhere to go. The turn goes left, and I tried to slow down, but with that little grip I unfortunately made contact with Valtteri." Max Verstappen also profited from the chaotic start by taking his second podium in as many races, ahead of Ferrari's Kimi Räikkönen and teammate Daniel Ricciardo, who suffered from bodywork damage to limp home in fourth. Vettel's rapid recovery resulted in a fifth-place finish, whilst Haas' Kevin Magnussen was a beneficiary of a poor second pit stop from Mercedes to take sixth ahead of Bottas. Carlos Sainz lead Nico Hülkenberg to head a double points finish for Renault, with Sauber's Charles Leclerc taking his fourth points finish in 5 races in 10th. With Ferrari equipped with the faster ultra-soft tires, Vettel made a lightning getaway and was challenging the two Mercedes cars into Turn 1. However, with Vettel tucked up closely to the lead Mercedes of Hamilton, the championship leader locked up into the opening corner and tagged Bottas, damaging both cars. Verstappen took evasive action and jumped the chicane to move up into second place. With the majority of the frontrunners appearing to lock up into Turn 1, Renault's Carlos Sainz capitalized by moving into third place at the expense of Ricciardo and Räikkönen. Solid starts for Magnussen and Leclerc saw them move up to 5th and 6th, also at the expense of Räikkönen. Another collision lower down the order between Toro Rosso's Pierre Gasly and Force India's Esteban Ocon at Turn 3 only offered further encouragement for the stewards to deploy the safety car. Both Vettel and Bottas, who had front wing damage and a puncture respectively, pitted for repairs and a switch to an alternate, soft tire strategy. They were joined by Sergei Sirotkin, Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso, who took advantage of free pit stops for soft tires. With the safety car returning to the pits for the start of lap 6, the race became a battle of who could recover positions the quickest, Vettel or Bottas. Vettel lead Bottas at the restart, and it was the championship leader who made lighter work of overtaking the midfielders, although Bottas' efforts were hampered by floor damage. Within 7 laps of the restart, Vettel and Bottas went from P17 and P18 to P10 and P12 respectively. Meanwhile, within the same time frame, Ricciardo and Räikkönen managed to pass Sainz to run in 3rd and 4th, but Hamilton and Verstappen extended their advantages in the top 2 positions. As Vettel approached the front of the midfield, he had minimal resistance. He was able to power past the likes of Perez, Grosjean, Hülkenberg, Leclerc and Magnussen to haul himself back into the top 6 and prompt the front-runners to think about their pit stop strategies. With the outside chance of rain looking less and less likely, teams became less tempted to stay out for as long as possible, and the lead Red Bull of Verstappen was brought in first on lap 25. Their switch to soft tires was completed in time to return to the track in front of the recovering Vettel. Ricciardo's stop a couple of laps later placed him behind Vettel, but with the Ferrari starting to struggle on tires almost 30 laps old, the Australian was soon challenging to reclaim the position, and passed the Ferrari on the inside of the double right-handed Boset corner. Hamilton pitted at the end of lap 33 for soft tires, initially falling a few seconds behind Räikkönen, but any thoughts of Ferrari attempting to hold up the Mercedes were ruled out when the Finn pitted 1 lap later for super soft tires, dropping behind Vettel. Despite the Ferraris running in championship order, it made little sense for Vettel to hold up Raikkonen, who was much faster at this stage, and Vettel yielded fourth place to his teammate prior to the chicane at the end of the Mistral Straight. With Bottas back into the top 6 and with a seemingly solid gap over the midfielders, Mercedes rolled the dice by bringing him into the pits for a stint on the ultra-soft tires, but a delay on the right rear wheel meant he lost positions to Sainz and Magnussen. With his main race challenger pitting and losing time, Vettel made the switch to the ultra-soft tires, serving a 5-second time penalty for his lap 1 collision with Bottas in the process, just 1 lap later in a bid to profit from any late race safety cars. With the other Ferrari of Raikkonen now clearly the lead car, he began homing in on Ricciardo, who had an issue with his front wing, which was losing him time. Sure enough, with 6 laps to go, Raikkonen was able to power past the Red Bull on the Mistral Straight and take the final podium place. Williams' Lance Stroll flat-spotted his front left tire, which turned into a tire blowout. A late tire blowout for Stroll sent the Williams off the circuit at the fast right-handed Cygnus corner, which brought out the virtual safety car in the closing stages of the race. Further up front, Hamilton was comfortable with his lead and was able to turn down his power unit and manage the gap to Verstappen, and the Briton strolled to his 3rd win of the season to reclaim the championship lead. Verstappen's 2nd place meant the Dutchman completed much-needed back-to-back clean races, with Raikkonen taking his first podium since Baku. Ricciardo and Vettel took the checkered flag in 4th and 5th, whilst Magnussen held off a late challenge from Bottas to take 6th place. Sainz, who had been running in a fine 6th until a very late power-related issue, finished in 8th ahead of teammate Nico Hülkenberg, who ran an adverse soft-to-ultra-soft strategy to climb to 9th, with Leclerc claiming the final point in 10th. By Luke Murphy. French Grand Prix results: 1 Lewis Hamilton Mercedes 53 laps, 2 Max Verstappen Red Bull Renault 7.090 S3 Kimi Raikkonen Ferrari 25.888 S4 Daniel Ricciardo Red Bull Renault 34.736 S5 Sebastian Vettel Ferrari 61.935 S6 Kevin Magnussen Haas Ferrari 79.364 S7 Valtteri Bottas Mercedes 80.632 S8 Carlos Sainz Renault 87.184 S9 Nico Hülkenberg Renault 91.989 S10 Charles Leclerc Sauber Ferrari 93.873 S11 Romain Grosjean Haas Ferrari 1 lap 12 Stoffel Vandoorne McLaren Renault 1 lap 13 Marcus Ericsson Sauber Ferrari 1 lap 14 Brendan Hartley Toro Rosso Honda 1 lap 15 Sergei Sorokin Williams Mercedes 1 lap 16 Fernando Alonso McLaren Renault DNF 17 Lance Stroll Williams Mercedes DNF 18 Sergio Perez Force India Mercedes DNF 19 Esteban Ocon Force India Mercedes DNF 20 Pierre Gasly Toro Rosso Honda DNF All Images Motorsport Images. Who was your driver of the day at the French Grand Prix? Leave your comments in the section below.